Hey, this is Troy Taylor with the Championship Football Coaches Clinic. We got Matt Allen here today, and I was the head football coach at Amelia County High School, and we played against Matt's team, Buckingham, and an old school football coach named Coach Gill. And I learned that day that running the power I and pounding the ball still worked. I was a fancy one back, two tights, pro style team, and they put the ball right down our throat. Y'all had a freshman quarterback, Ayers, that went to VMI. What grade were you in, Matt?
When Ayers was a freshman, I was probably a senior.
Yeah, so it was your senior year.
Yeah.
And y'all put it down our throat. But, man, some good memories. Talk a little bit about Coach Gill.
Coach Gill, man, I got the pleasure. I played for him for 4 years, and then I got to turn around and coach with him for 6 years at Buckingham as an assistant, man. And, I put it up there. He's probably the second most influential man in my life behind my father. You talked about the old school power I, even as we, sort of evolved a little bit. And by the time I was coaching there and everything, we ran spread. We ran, a little bit more, variations of offensive formations and stuff. But, the bread and butter of running the power and running power run game, whether it be out of the shotgun or whether it be, by the end there, I think we were almost kind of single wingish at times. That kind of bread and butter came from him and came from, sort of the mindset he set. And I tell it to people all the time because I've, been gone from Buckingham now for 7 years. It's just sort of a mindset there with those kids. You got people who want to be offensive linemen. I was one of the little ones, but you go back there now, they easily find kids who are 280, 290 pounds playing at the 2A level. And, I remember one year I coached there, our smallest offensive lineman was 280, and Coach Gill sort of set that mindset, where the offensive line was going to be tough and we were going to sort of pound the ball on you. So even when we went to the spread, it became, we're going to run power out of the spread. So I think he would sort of laugh now if he'd heard that I was talking about zone running game, because that was something that, first 10 years of my football life, I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, and he passed away, and he was just so good to me as a young coach. I mean, he had that old flat top haircut, man.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just a good dude, man. He was a lifer. So
absolutely.
I just wanted to pay him his respect. Matt's going to come on here today, y'all, and he's going to talk about zone run game and the different variations off of that. But we're glad to have you. Could you tell this clinic a little bit about yourself, where all you've been? You said we know you played at Buckingham in Virginia.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. I played after Buckingham. I played for a year under Scott Abel was my offensive coordinator at Washington and Lee University. Frank Muriello was our head coach. After spending a year there, that was my first time being away from Buckingham. So I transferred back a little bit closer to home and ended up starting helping out in Buckingham when I was in college, as well as helping out Marty Favret at Hampton-Sydney College. I'm sure people in Virginia have heard of and know. And then after that, helped out at Hampton-Sydney for 3 years while also coaching at Buckingham, and then transferred over and became a teacher there once I finished my degree at Hampton-Sydney. Taught at Buckingham for 4 years. We had a great staff. Our offensive coordinator, a guy named Zach Penny, is somewhere in Richmond now, popping up at different schools as far as an assistant coach there. And then the guy who was the defensive coordinator was my defensive coordinator in high school, and then I coached with him for 6 years, Seth Wilkerson. He's the head coach now. Just a bunch of great guys, great staff to learn from over there at Buckingham. And then in 2016, I left Buckingham and went to be the head coach at Chatham High School down near Danville, Virginia, for those who are closer to the North Carolina border. And at the time, I was just 24 when I got hired. I think at the time I was the youngest head coach in the state. And then the next year, Philip Sims got hired. I got to lose that title. But, at Chatham, we worked hard. It was a great learning experience. You know what it's like being a first-time head coach and having to figure out everything sort of on the fly. In 4 years there, we were able to sort of turn things around. You got to do stuff that's not just football related, not just X's and O's related. It's building a program. The big things I was proud of there, my first year we came in 2016 and we were a 2A program. and we had 40 kids out. And the first day of practice, I was cold calling kids trying to make a JV team. And then in 2019, my last year at Chatham, we had 80 kids out. I had to go beg people around for helmets because we didn't have enough helmets to fit everybody. We went from, starting out, I was a defensive guy. I was a very, we're going to be kind of in that Coach Deal mindset. We're going to pound the rock, we're going to run the ball off tackle, and it's just going to do something to people. But we were playing in the Dogwood District and playing Appomattox during their heyday, and I'm sure people have heard of Doug Smith and Appomattox. They were in the middle of their state championship run. Alta Vista High School had just come off of 2 state championships a few years prior, and then you had other nasty teams in Gretna. Dan River was a tough physical football team that's produced three NFL prospects. We had a lot of tough physical teams we had to play against in Chatham, so we eventually, sort of changed how we were going to do things. We went from being sort of a power-based team to more we're going to, spread the ball out a little bit. We went to more of an air raid style, kind of that Mike Leach, a little bit of mix of Mike Leach, Hal Mummy stuff, and throwing the ball around the yard a little bit. 2018, we switched to that. Went to the inside zone running game for the first time, and at first really got to start studying what inside zone was. People would call my version of the inside zone back then kind of bastardized. It was more inside Zier, because it looked like veer and it looked like zone, and really wasn't either one. That first year in 2018, throwing the ball all around the yard and not really developing our running game, we went 1-9, but we led the region in passing, and kids sort of got bought in. And then the next year, we're throwing the ball around, and 80 kids show up to want to play for football for a 2A high school that historically has been a baseball school. That year was really a turning point year. We were second in the region in passing, but then we tripled our offensive rushing output by, installing, really laying heavy on that inside Zier game, mixed with a little bit of power steam from Buckingham. I still can't get rid of it. And then, we were able to transition, make the playoffs for the 4th time in school history, 14th winning season in school history, stuff like that. And then the past 3 years, I've been at Alta Vista Combined School, working under a guy named Andy Cox, who sort of taught me more about the inside zone game and how you can use it to simplify things for your offensive line. And that's what I'm going to sort of hit on today. I've spent the last 3 years, first 2 as his offensive line coach, and then this past year as his offensive coordinator. And we've been able to simplify stuff for our offensive line where you can run a lot of run plays with just one blocking scheme. And that's sort of what I try to tell coaches why I like the zone so much, is because our adjustments are really simple. And, I'm going to teach y'all and go through some stuff today that'll help y'all, whether you're going to play a 7-man box, a 6-man box. I've even seen a 5-man box when I've run it before, and that's just sort of like being a kid at Christmas. But, we've got adjustments out of it to make things simple. And the big thing is, if you can make things simple for your offensive line, you can really see your run game start to get going.
Yeah, so Coach, if you want me to share that screen, I'll share it.
Yeah, if that works, go ahead. Start sharing. Okay. So I'm going to click over. Do you see my presentation now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and I'm going to hop back and forth here between the presentation and what we're going through and doing the X's and O's. But, we're talking today about simplifying your offense with multiple inside zone variations. We're a big inside zone team here at Alta Vista, or at least we were last year. The benefits of it, I kind of hit on this a little bit already. You're simplifying things for the offensive line up front. You're making it simple. I talked about, limiting how many different ways we can block stuff. Getting everything where it's sort of, I can run multiple plays, but I'm telling my offensive line one thing to do, and they're able to fire out and, just go attack it. It also maximizes practice time. I'm able to, when going over my inside zone blocking and my inside zone run scheme, I'm able to practice multiple plays with my guys by just going over that one run scheme. And, it helps them to get better. It helps us to get better at our combos. I can take the time and sort of dive in and invest, and I'm getting better. I'm not having to worry so much. Do we still have power in the game? Yes. Do we still have, we've had trap in the game before. We've had stuff like that. But do we have to, worry about the different variations and getting enough practice time? No, because we can dress stuff up out of our zone game. And it allows us, to develop some bread and butter, as the old term would say. You want to have something that you can hang your hat on. That's what you run. And this is what we're going to do and what we're going to execute. So I want to go. First thing we want to talk about is how we do it out of 10 personnel. People probably, and I'm going to use our terminology here. We're not afraid to use it. We're not afraid to share it. Big thing for our kids, I'm going to be talking about Panther and Panther West. For us, that's inside zone and inside zone left. If we tag anything with West, that means we're going to the left. If we don't have West, we're running to the right. So we're going to talk about Panther here for us. That's our inside zone play. So for us, the big thing first is how – and you got that, Coach, where you can see the sketch pad?
Yeah, I had my mic turned off. Yes, sir.
Okay, my bad. You got it? You good? All right. So our inside zone right here, I got it drawn up against a 42 box. Okay, our normal Panther play. All we're teaching the offensive linemen, and I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you our other variations, and you're going to say, well, it's the same thing for the 5 guys up front. Well, that's the beauty of it. All right? We're coming up, our center's calling even, and we're identifying what our combos are going to be. A lot of offensive lines, when they go through inside zone, it's a count system. It's a, we got to see man covered, man uncovered. We don't do that here. We just call out our combo blocks. All right? Working from our backside over. This combo right here between backside tackle and backside guard, for us, that's going to be a BBB combo. We speak in the alphabet on the backside, and we speak in Spanish on the play side. So for these guys, since they know they have a B combo, they are working together up here, defensive tackle to linebacker. And the big coaching points we work with them and we're able to work every week is, hey, we want 4 hands on that defensive lineman, 4 eyes on that linebacker, okay? We're attacking. We're reading this defensive end right here up squared right there. So we're getting off the ball. We're getting underneath whatever he does, and we're getting down to that defensive tackle and up to that linebacker. Coming over to our center and our play side guard, all right? Their combo, this ADAP combo for us, since we're on the play side now, we speak in Spanish. For us, that's uno, uno, uno. So we're calling out uno, uno, uno. And that tells that center, hey, I'm stepping here. We're stepping here. We got 4 hands on that defensive tackle, 4 eyes on that linebacker, and we're up right there. Our play side tackle knows, hey, I can get a bit of a smarter split. I can widen out. His job's now just going to be to fan out and block that defensive end at the point of attack. And then here we are with the read, kind of reading what's going to happen there on that backside tackle. If he's going to slant hard, that's going to produce a cutback for the running back. But that gives us, our traditional, and that's just the inside zone in a nutshell for everybody. And then out of that, that's what we would call Panther. Then out of that, scroll down, get my eraser real quick. Out of that, we have our Panther Omega. I'll talk about that. I'll just get a new page. Trying to get my screen. All right. I'm going to just erase it, Coach, and we'll go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But we're going to go to our Panther Omega thing. And our Panther Omega, as I'm erasing this and talking, Panther Omega for us is just, it's like giving your quarterback counter game. So for our line, and we'll set it up, our Romeo, our running back, will be on the opposite side. So if I'm going to run Panther, I'm running to the right, all right? And then I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in, have him set up to the right. And we'll put it up against the 4-2. All right. And then for us, I call out Panther Omega. For the line, it's the same thing. We got our BB. We're going BBB right here, bang. We're going uno, uno, uno right here, bang. We're fanning out, bang. What for the running back now, we're crossing face of the quarterback, and we are going to have that look to come in and kick out. It's almost like a quarterback counter look. And then the quarterback is attacking here, same path that the running back would have attacked here, working that play side center's cheek. All right? And we're just coming in there, and it gives you sort of a cross-face look. That's your Panther Omegas. Out of that also, okay, this is where we change up just a little bit for the offensive lineman, but not much. For us, if I'm going to call Panther Alpha, let's say I want to go old school, and I think we did this at Buckingham a lot, and we're going to use that tailback, especially when we had Ayers who ended up starting at Virginia State. Get that. What we're going to do is we're going to bring that tailback, and he's going to be like a hammer and lead up for us, okay? So that for us, Omega means opposite. Tailback's going opposite. Alpha, hey, quarterback's going to be the alpha, the Omega on this play. He's going first right now, right behind that tailback. So for us, the only adjustment out of Panther Alpha, we will give that backside tackle, all right? We got to adjust just slightly. That backside tackle now has to lock, okay? He's going to end up locking on that defensive end because we no longer have a read. Tailback's on play side if we're going Panther. The guard now really has to work and sort of win his one-on-one block, okay? And we've adjusted and done different things based on what these two linebackers will do for us, okay? If everything can stay simple, we'll keep it simple and run our normal Panther track where we have a uno, uno, uno to the play side. And we have a fan out to the play side tackle. And then my running back is here, almost looking inside out for that linebacker right there. And then quarterback here. Now, what we have adjusted before in the past is, okay, instead of having the tailback look for backside linebacker, because sometimes depending on your tailback, you just don't have he doesn't have good vision to block. He might have good vision to run, depending on who you got back there at tailback, who you got back there, your Romeo. But, we'll adjust our combo calls for the linemen. So here, if I want to go Panther Alpha, okay, and let's say instead of having the tailback look for the backside linebacker, I want to have him go up on the play side linebacker. Well, I will turn this guard into our guy who locks. He's locking on that defensive tackle right there, and I'll have the center make an AAA call. So on the backside, we're speaking the alphabet. AAA would be the center and the backside guard. 2 for 2, 4 hands on him, 4 eyes on the linebacker. There we go. That clears your space, and really that's inside zone blocking, but we're running ISO. That's all we're doing right there. We're running quarterback ISO with it. All right? So out of that, just to sort of review what we've talked about so far, that's just your 10 personnel game. You got your Panther West where we'll flip it and we'll go to the left. You got your Panther Omega, our little quarterback cross action where you can always, just send that tailback and it turns into quarterback counter. And then you got your Panther Alpha, and we're not really changing stuff up, but we've run 3 fundamentally different plays. We've run quarterback counter, we've run ISO, and we've run traditional inside zone if you're looking at it from a defensive perspective. And I think that's what's the cool thing about this scheme and about basing your plays off of an easy inside zone scheme. Now, where this gets tough, all right, how do you fix certain things? One of the things that we saw a lot of, okay, if you're going to come out in 10 personnel, we had a nasty school down here, won multiple state championships called Gretna High School. And Gretna, for a while here, they recently changed over head coaches, but for a while there, their MO was they could get in and give you a 52 box. And in that 52 box, they didn't care if you were in 10 personnel and running spread. They would give you a 52 box. Give me 3. Hold on, let me erase that. I'll give you the Gretna 52. And they still do it some. But the Gretna 52, you got these wide outside linebackers here. You got these defensive tackles right here. And there you go. And they could run and play man coverage across the board, and that's why they were able to do it. And the problem here is out of 10 personnel, you really have a problem trying to run your inside zone game. They're always going to leave somebody unblocked. When I was at Chatham, I realized that when we were more of an inside zero team, we almost had to go big on big, and I did not like that, because we would leave play side end unblocked if we're going to leave him unblocked and hit here out of our zero game. We don't like that as much out of our traditional inside zone game like we had at Alta Vista. So what we did is that's when you come in and you bring other people into the game. All right, whether it's your tight ends and you're getting in 11 personnel, because I'll show you if I'm going to bring a Y into the game, bring the tight end, how it kind of adjusts here. And it's kind of common sense, to be honest. So if I bring my Y in, and they would adjust, still keeping a traditional, they're 52. Now that defensive, that dog that we would call him has to get out further. All right. So now we have this. All of a sudden, I can run out of this 52 look, and they may bring this safety and put him over top a little bit more, but they're not going to walk him down in the box traditionally. But all of a sudden now I can run my game again. I can run my look. Now these two, my backside tackle, backside guard, they have a B combo, bang, bang, bang. We're working here. All right. Depending on what we have here, you're going to have the center and play side guard. Center and play side guard are going to step to this A gap. All right. What's going to happen here? Center's kind of got to take the nose where he goes. All right. Hoping the nose to shoot here goes strong, and we're right there. Then we're up here. And then these tackle and this tight end, I got them drawn a little bit tight, but they're taught to take those take those smart splits and get them fanned out. And it turns into easy blocking. We read this play side end right there, and there we go. So we've adjusted bringing in the tight end in the game. You can also bring in the tight end if I wanted to run away from the tight end. Okay? If I wanted to run away, and for us, that's just our pro and con sets where we'll bring in and put tight end. And then you can fool around. If you're going to be if you're a spread traditional team like we are, you can mess around with the tight end. You can give them tight end trips look. You can give them tight end away from twins look. All that stuff kind of adjusts where they're going to put those overhang players, where they're going to put that safety. If I want to run away from tight end. All right. Away from tight end gets a little bit tougher because we're having to scoop so hard in here and scoop and get up here. And it's just hard to get because you're working here almost up to the next level. So that's why if you're going to work away from tight end, my biggest suggestion is to bring in an H into the game. But you can bring in an H into the game, and I'm going to show you real quick what an H does. And for us, our tight ends or H's are sort of interchangeable. Our tight ends and our H's are interchangeable. And what's really cool, and I'll draw this up against a traditional 40 front to tell you about our base plays with the H in. Because in our H, okay, when we talk about that and we call that our 20 personnel, all right, we're talking that's when you get into split zone action. That's when you get into lead zone action. That's when we get into sort of ISO zone action. And then, we'll get into further of that. But it's all based on, you heard me talk about it, our Panther West game. Okay, Panther Omega, Panther Alpha. What the cool thing is for the offensive lineman is all they hear is Panther. All they hear is your traditional, whatever you want, call inside zone. That's what they're hearing. and that's all they have to think about. They're not thinking about – my offensive lineman did not know what the heck queen meant. And I'm going to show you what queen meant. So for us, I'll give you 42. For us, if I was going to bring queen in, and let's say you have a overhang, we'll give you a traditional 44 look, okay? Let's say I'm going to run inside zone, and I want to run Panther Queen. Okay, for us, Panther Queen, that's our split zone. Queen tells this H-back he's going away from the play. So if it's to the right, we're going to tell him where to line up. He's going to go left. Again, here's our combos, BBB, uno, 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 fan, fan, fan. There we go. And then we're in right here, sort of taking that quarterback read away. And we're right there to kick him out and in our inside zone trek. After that, that's our Panther Queen game. Panther Queen's pretty nasty. Panther Queen's cool. But off of that, what gets cool is everything else you can run. This is we also have, let's say you're worried more about that overhang to the play side. Whether you're facing a 4-3 or 4-4, okay, if I'm going to face a 4-3 and they want to put an overhang right here based on how I got my twins aligned, if we're facing a 4-3 and they want to overhang, right there, and we want to run Panther, okay? If I want to run Panther King, all I have to do is now that H, and Queen said backside, King says play side, here I go. I'm right up to that overhang right there. We still have our normal combos. We just ran against a 4-3 and kicked that outside linebacker out. That way, in case something hits and we need to bounce, we're there. My favorite play off of it, though, is Panther Jack. King, Queen, Jack, playing with cards right now. Panther Jack for us is sort of where we bluff split zone. We're going to bluff split zone, and we're going to go up for the outside linebacker. And why are we going to do that? Well, let's say in the game, and you've read and you've seen it in your Panther game, you've been running your inside zone game, and that defensive end continues to crash. I don't know what I did with the fill, but we'll go with it. Continues to crash, continues to crash, continues to crash. So we'll call that our E guy right there. And let's say he's continued to crash, but this linebacker right here has sort of kept your quarterback from being able to run crazy. He's been able to spit. He's been able to come up and make the plays you need him to make. We will run Panther Jack. All right? So we're down. It's Panther game. We got our normal combos. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? We are going to jack this guy. So we're going to bluff like we're kicking him, and we're going straight up right there. We're going right there and attacking now. All right. After that happens, now the quarterback has the opportunity here to read. If that end wants to crash down hard, now when he pulls it, coach, he's got a lead blocker right there. I know that. And that's hard to read a little bit with what I got, but he's got a lead blocker right there, and he can be gone. That play, when he pulls it, is a big money play. Just when everything hits right, that defensive end's been crashing, knowing that linebacker has his back. Well, now you got that guy going up to the next level.
Yeah, it's a load. It's like a load option.
Yep. And then out of that, okay, you can mix in. This is where if Coach Cox, or the head coach I worked for, was here, and I forgot, I'll tell you about Panther Club in a second. If he was here, he would say that I bastardized the system by just seeing that we could tag so much stuff. and run different concepts by still just running our inside zone game. So I'll show you real quick Panther Club, and then I'll get you in to everything else we got rolling on.
You have the easiest blocking rules ever. You know what they are? Go right and go left.
Go right, go left, Coach.
Yeah. And then, hey, have you ever heard anybody do this? If you're running inside zone to the right, it's go right. And then if you're running power to the right, it's go left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we've done that. We've done that before. Andy, before I got here, he tagged in, he called it Panther Flip. So the backs knew to flip it.
Yeah.
So for us, that turned into their version of the inside zero I talked about. So if you're going to run Panther Flip, okay, offensive line's running Panther. Cool. Okay, combo. Here you go. Now, instead of reading him, okay, and we're having the cross read right there where he's the backside guy, we're coming downhill right here now. And it turns into power. And then what they did off of it, which was nice, was let's say, now if you come back with an H, you can kick that guy because he's been taught to read. And what we found a lot of times at Chatham when we ran the inside zero is now I can run my G-scheme power because if you look at this, play side combo looks like power. Center blocking back looks like power. Tackle fanning kind of looks like power. And then we just trap him right there. Inside zero for us and power looked like the same. And it made things so much easier for kids. I'm going to take that down to 0. Okay. And then, but going back, I was going to tell you about club real quick. Let me make sure my sketch pad gets.
I mean, if the kids are always going right or going left, I mean, it's pretty easy because I mean they know where their combos are, and I like it, man. We've done this before. It works. We had one of our best rushing games doing that all the time. Just go right or go left.
Oh yeah.
Didn't matter whether we was running ISO left, ISO right, inside zone, outside zone.
I mean, and what happens with it is out of this now you can get coaches. We love ball. I would love to bring in, all tons of different run schemes into a game. I'd love to bring in, I'm going to teach my guys, when we run power, how we run power, and then we have to adjust to power versus, if they give us an odd front, an even front, if the odd front has 3 techs or four eyes, 4s, what are we doing? So many different rules you have to adjust to, whereas this one's really like, nah, we can run all these different run concepts, and it's like you said, it's go right, go left.
Like Alex Gibbs with his outside zone. He runs one thing, and they get good at it.
Oh yeah, 100%. With us, the other ways we kind of bastardize stuff. Club for us is nothing more than Panther Alpha, except now. I got to get this fill off because it's messing with me. But, we'll run our combos. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Now the H is in there, and there's your ISO. Okay? And there, we have tailback coming up. Now it's tailback ISO, except we're reading that backside end right there.
And you got an extra hat.
Yep. 100%. You got the extra hat. If they're going to bring in an extra hat on defense, then let's see if I can just. If they're going to bring in the extra hat on defense, then cool. All right. Now I got an extra hat. I got in on offense. We're good to go. And we just roll with it. Trying to make sure I don't have this fill keep coming up. Yeah, now it just gives me different colors. Hold on a sec, Coach.
It's all right, Coach. You're good.
I'm going to get out and see if I can just get a complete clean sketch pad. They had me, and I think I've seen it, if you go on my YouTube channel, I should have talked about that some, but, I do a YouTube channel called Big Rule the World where we talk about offensive line play and different stuff like that. And, just try to talk X's and O's. It gave me fun during COVID. And after that, if you go on there, I had a good sketch pad. It was pretty nice. And then they changed up my computer. And I don't think they much care at the school if I I got a sketch pad or not. So
Yeah, that's all right, Coach. You're fine.
all right.
I'm pretty low tech.
So what we got, all right, where we kind of bastardized it some is when we came in and we started mixing up tags. I had a kid this past year, big load. He was probably about 230, over 6 foot, and we put him in at quarterback some, and we just, we're going to bring it. We want to bring, downhill running game. But, I can get a split flow look if I mix in, okay, I want to run Panther Alpha. But, okay, I want to run Panther Alpha. I want to run this quarterback. I want to have the running back leading. But I want to give a little bit different flow. I don't want the linebackers just knowing we're just coming brute force power right now. So out of it, if I called Panther Alpha Queen, all right, Panther Alpha Queen was probably one of my favorite ones. We're here. We're running the Queen look, but we're still leading up now. So all that Queen look really turned into, now we got that backside defensive end. We used to have to lock on Alpha. I talked about Alpha earlier. We'd have to lock that defensive end all the time because he was coming unblocked. He was the read man. Now he's unblocked. Well, now because I've queened him and had that H kick him, we're off to the races. He's blocked out, and we've given the linebackers the appearance of split flow. If I call Panther Alpha Club for us, Panther Alpha Club, if we're going to put it against the 4-4. We're telling tackle he got a lock, okay, just like Panther Alpha. But for us, everything turns into back to my Panther Alpha rules, okay? Blocking out. We can lock on here and combo here. If they're giving us trouble, we'll switch to an A combo. But now my H and my running back are leading up. And it turns into almost like single wingish when we had that 230-pound quarterback / tailback in at Q, and we're just coming brute force trauma right at you. So we like that. The other double tag I kind of like out of it, I go back to where we ran our jack. I'll go back to Queen. That's what I want to go back to, Queen. And if I'm going to tag Panther Omega Queen, so we remember Panther Omega looks like quarterback counter. Panther Omega for us looks like quarterback counter. After that, can you still see that, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I finally figured it out. So, Panther Omega, like I said, looks like quarterback counter for us. If I want to queen it, okay? Now, from a defensive perspective, we're doing this. We're going Panther Omega Queen. We're doing this. We're doing our Panther game. Cool. But I got the H coming here. And then on the Queen, I got the running back crossing phase 2. So, to me, that looks like from a linebacker's perspective, I'm coming downhill. That's tailback power. You're coming downhill. You have a double team at the point of attack right here. You have the H kicking, and you have the tailback taking the handoff right now. To me, if I'm a linebacker, I'm thinking I'm flowing. That's tailback power right there. They're just going to kick him and run power. Well, no, we're not. Quarterback's faking the handoff, and he's hitting the inside zone track. So that was Panther Omega Queen for us. But the cool thing is, okay, and, we talked again about how it makes it simple. We talked about our multiple tag game. The one thing I will warn you about is, I kind of got into it a lot more this year as the offensive coordinator than I did as an offensive line coach. I bastardized the heck out of it because we were running, we were throwing in Panther Alpha Queen. We were running Panther Alpha Club. There, different stuff to give us, multiple options in the run game without changing stuff up for our offensive line. That was the big thing for us. Big takeaways that you got to take coaching-wise. For coaching the offensive line, what would I say here? Number one, we taught our guys, a lot of guys will talk about, pick up, put down steps, I think was one thing we talked about when I first came over here, and then we just changed it. For our zone trek, people will ask, we're coming at a 45-degree angle with our first step. Just like we talked about, I drill them every day. We're going Panther, we're going first steps right at a 45-degree angle. We're going Panther West, first steps left, 45-degree angle. And then we're trying to get vertical with it. So we're going to come off the ball fast. First thing we do every day, stance and start, we're coming off the ball fast. Second thing, we're probably drilling combos every day. Okay, we're drilling those combos. We're telling our guys, this is something I took from Coach Deal, actually, when he talked about combos coming off of down blocks for power. 4 hands on that defensive lineman, 4 eyes on the linebacker. Just knowing, hey, if I'm my backside tackle, okay, and we'll go back to the sketch pad real quick. If I'm this backside tackle right here, and I'm this backside guard, okay, and we're communicating together, I got to know, a lot of guys will get hung up on a man, okay? They'll get hung up on, I should get this guy, you should get that guy. Well, if this backside tackle shoots right here, backside defensive tackle shoots right here, as a guard, I got to know, okay, I got my hands on him to help this tackle get over, but now I got to get my eyes on the linebacker and get up top. Just like if this tackle shot inside, shot A-gap. If that tackle shoots A-gap, your backside tackle's got to know, okay, oh crap, my guard's gone. Guard's gone right there. I got to get up to linebacker now. And I think, we work on those combos just about every single day and work on fifth position of hands, getting your back, other things I talk about. If we had some film, I could show you. We just don't have the film right now of our practice tape because we had to delete it. But big things we would teach them is to have those 4 hands on, have them on the chest plate of the defensive tackle, and then you got your 4 eyes on your linebacker, getting that combo up there. And we would work in a progression. I think now I'm talking to all the offensive line guys in here, but we would work in a progression. So if I'm going to work a progression of my combo drills, all right. So I'm taking in the first progression I always did was, okay, we have one defensive tackle, and we just need to work to get him pushed off the ball. We just need to work to get him moved vertically up the field. That's the big thing I would say inside zone versus being a power-based offense, because I've been both. Your combos on inside zone need to be more vertical than on power. If I was going to run power here and we were block down, kick out, I could have those things going more at a 45-degree angle. But because it's inside zone and I need to carry them to the linebackers and I need to be able to give that quarterback, that running back a way to cut, I want to make that more vertical. So the first drill we're working on is getting 4 hands on him, just driving his butt.
Have you ever heard of somebody doing both? I mean, have you ever heard of somebody teaching both of them with the vertical double team?
Oh, yeah. And that's kind of what we sort of went to. Originally, the reason I got into the inside zero game was to try to make it more of a 45-degree angle on everything. Because if we're going to run inside zero right now, all right, and I like it better to teach it more at a vertical angle because I can get power done with vertical combos. I can't get inside zone done as well with down combos. So the reason we went to the inside zero game a lot was, okay, I could teach those guys, and I'm still almost drawing it. It's down, 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 down. Okay, I didn't teach them anything about getting vertical, getting north south. This was the last 2 years of Chatham when we were primarily inside zero team, and it looked just like power. But now with being traditional inside zone where we want to hit and make a cut, we need more vertical combos. But yeah, you're exactly right, Coach. You can teach that to your power scheme here to get those guys vertical, and it gives you sort of saves you time in practice, because now I'm teaching one combo. I'm not teaching a down combo. I'm not teaching, I'm teaching a vertical. Okay, this is the combo we get. Yeah, vertical double team. And then after that, after we get, in our practice progression, after we work on this guy, then we're going to work on a little bit, okay, taking this guy to the lap of the linebacker. Then we're going to work, okay, some ones where we'll work. I'll show real quick. There are some combos where it's almost predetermined unless something happens, okay, just by alignment, who's going to get who. If I gave you a 3-tech here, A-gap linebacker, okay, in all likelihood, we're working here, but this guard's probably going to come off to that linebacker. So we'll work that next. Then we'll work stack combos where they have to be on their adjustment. We'll work, okay, this looks like it's going to be a predetermined combo, but the reason he needs a step here is because you'll see stunts where that guy comes here and that guy comes there. And you got to have that 4 hands on the defensive tackle, 4 eyes on the linebacker. So that's a big thing I would sort of focus on, if that makes sense. Focus on getting your 4 hands on the defensive lineman, 4 eyes on the linebacker. Big thing with us is come off the ball fast, communicate those combos. That's a big thing in practice for us. The offensive lineman cannot talk enough. They're communicating. I told y'all about it. We speak in ABC order on the backside. We speak in Spanish on the play side. So my backside guys have to come out calling out their combos, BBB, AAA. If we got a tight end of the game, there might be a CCC. And then, on the play side, it's uno, dos, tres. But, Coach, I'm going to stop sharing that presentation real quick. But that's sort of, our run game in a nutshell is basing that off of the inside zone, making it easy for our guys when, we go into a game. The big thing for us this past year, like I said, I was promoted up to offensive coordinator. And, I'll give the example. Our first game of the season, we played Central Lunenburg. Central Lunenburg was a very good 1A football team this year. You probably remember them from your days at Amelia. And they just sort of tough, hard-nosed kids down from Lunenburg County where there's not much else to do besides play sports. And, we thought we're going to get them with power. We're going to get them with all these different run schemes. And, Coach, they blew us up. We couldn't make our, we came out, we're going to run power. We're expecting a 50 front. They give us a 40 front. We come out, we're going to run trap. We're going to run trap. Well, they give us a different front. Now we have to adjust it. And we had a young offensive line. That's a big thing I will say about this, because if there's coaches sitting at home going, well, heck, that works for seniors or juniors. I started 4 sophomores this year on the offensive line. And this was able to get them where, that first game, Coach, we got blown up. And again, very good Lunenburg team, but we did not run the ball well at all. After that, we went more into sort of, we're going to focus on inside zone. We're going to get these sophomore offensive linemen great at running inside zone, and we're going to base our run game off of it. And by the end of the year, even with a really bad first game, we averaged over 200 yards rushing a game off the back of inside zone. And, I think that's something that you can take anywhere. We did it with a bunch of young sophomore kids playing 1A, 2A football out here in Southside Virginia. I think you can do it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Do you do any RPOs off that? I mean,
oh, now you're going to get me talking. So my favorite RPO I used to do when we were inside Zier game was we did it off of it was kind of like base triple option, to be honest. I'll share real quick. I'm going to go back to screen share real quick just because I got to show it.
All right.
So when we were inside Zier based at Chatham, I had a good quarterback, and chances are he's probably watching this at some point because he watches all my stuff. His name's Ethan Reynolds, and he was nasty at this, and we got a lot of yards out of it. But what we would do, we would just tag our bubble RPO. I know, guys, I'm playing around now trying to study and get more into downfield RPO stuff just because I like it a lot. But this was if anybody wants a real simple RPO off our inside zero, again, I told you we were okay. That's my play side end that I'm reading. Okay, I'm here. Quarterback's first read, there's dive read. Okay, then overhang. We were able to play it almost like true triple option, coach. Is okay, dive reads, he gave me the pull read. Now here am I, and I'm attacking. This overhang linebacker, what I discovered, especially on the 2A, 1A level, okay, most teams put their best cover guys at corner. Most teams put their best tacklers at inside linebacker. They're not generally putting them at outside linebacker. So what we decided was we're going to pick on these overhang cats, those outside linebackers, because they're not the best cover guys, and they're generally not going to be your best tacklers. They'd be the guys at inside linebacker traditionally. So what we do here, our best receiver would just start getting east-west right now. He's bubbling, and that guy has to make a decision. He's either going to go out with the Y or he's going to come play the quarterback. And I just told the quarterback, I said, hey, if you miss running, okay? Like we need to make a decision right now, you're going to run the ball, okay? But if you see him for a second hesitate to get out to that Y, that's when we can stop and throw it. And Ethan was a special quarterback. We were able to pick on those overhang linebackers a lot with using that RPO and using different things out of the air raid passing game. And that was my favorite one. Now, off of it, we also had our tunnel screen that was pretty nice off of it to run. And we had a little pop RPO. Again, picking on that outside linebacker where we're just sort of freeing up that space right there to see if they vacate it. So we played RPO game a lot more in Chatham. I think the big thing there and, why it worked there versus why, we tried around with it some in Alta Vista here this past year, but we were just really young. The big thing there, we had a special quarterback. It's not a guy you can recreate all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that what you just drew up, that's what Patrick Kane did at Hermitage all the time. And he did a talk. If anybody wants to watch that, he spent like an hour on that, man. That's his thing, is that RPO, bubble. And that was like their play. That's what they hung their hat on, man. And you had to get ready for that thing. And they always had like a little jitterbug quarterback that was really good, man. So what are you studying in the off season on offense? Anything in particular?
The big thing on offense, it just depends on what sort of the flavor is for me right now. Big thing for us, we're going back, seeing what we can run off of inside zone. I'm studying RPO game. I like RPOs a lot. So getting back into the RPO game, also trying to study up, as an offensive coach, I think you got to look at defenses and look at, how defenses are built fundamentally, and sort of how you attack them from there. So I'm trying to study more of the 50 looks and see, how we can attack that better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I drew up a lot of stuff. Some guys will probably say I was even cheating, drawing up a lot of stuff out of a 40 look, but a lot of guys are into the 40 looks now. But it's when you get those 50 looks, it's when you get that 52, like I showed you talking about Gretna. When we were at Chatham, when we were based, 2x2, 3x1, that's all we did because we didn't really have tight ends. It was tough to run the ball against that 52 cover zero look.
Yeah.
We had to find different adjustments to, what we could do out of it. Now at Alta Vista, luckily, we've been blessed to have some H-backs, blessed to have some tight ends, and, you're able to adjust out of that. But if you're just, going – and I thought originally I was sort of pig-headed on that one and thought, hey, we'll be able to run our RPO. They won't be able to get out there with it. No, the 52, if it is taught correctly, is still pretty tough against the spread as long as you can play man coverage. That's a big thing there. If you can play lockdown cover zero and, talking about at this level, not a lot of teams can. So if you are one of those teams that can play lockdown cover zero out of it and you have a 52 box, that's pretty nasty. So it's sort of learning different stuff we can do out of different games to sort of do that. I still got that old school Craig Gill in me. I like studying power. If you go back, my YouTube channel is Bigs Rule the World on YouTube. I actually did a study not this past year, but the year before, I think, into power and looking into North Dakota State when, how they ran their ADAP power, how they did stuff like that. And that stuff's sort of fun for me. I pulled up, I think North Dakota State ran out of 2 tight end set out of under center. I sent this video to Coach Cox. He quarterback reverses out and follows the fullback in. And as you have guards pulling, I mean, it's just fun stuff, man.
Yeah. You outnumber them.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. That's what we did, back, coming full circle. That's what we did back at the Buckingham days with Coach Gill, power eye. We're just going to come right at you.
Mm-hmm.
See if you're ready for it.
Yeah. Ending off today, anything that you would like to leave the clinic with, you'd like to say, or how people can get a hold of you and your YouTube channel, Coach?
Biggest thing, if you go to YouTube, I'll show it up. I'll share real quick just because I have one slide they can see. And that way, if they want to write it down or anything, they're welcome to. I'm an open book. I didn't put my Twitter up there, but if you follow me at football_Allen, it should be football_Allen on Twitter. And then the YouTube channel is Big Rule the World on YouTube. If you get on there, we're going to start seeing a lot more new content here coming up. I think we're going to do a sort of a deep dive into split back veer, which is an offense we ran for a little bit here at Alta Vista as well. So you'll see a deep dive into split back veer coming up. I sort of got away from posting regularly on there while I was getting stuff done with my master's, but now I got a master's degree for whatever that's worth, and I can start posting again. But Big Rule the World on YouTube. If you need to email me, it's coachmattallen64@gmail.com, and then football_Allen at Twitter. But like I said, I'm an open book. I'm willing to share, talk about anything. I talked about inside zone game here, but hey, I'm more than willing to talk about the stuff we've done in the air raid, the stuff we've done in our passing game, in our power game, all of that stuff, or just what it's like. I got a couple different experiences I've talked about before with being a 24-year-old head football coach. Big thing is I'm an open book. I'm always willing to talk ball.
Yeah, we got a message from Daquan Chapman. He's one of my former players at Meadowbrook High School. He said a lot of wisdom. Daquan, I hope you're coaching, man, because you should be. Heck of a football player. So, Matt, thank you for coming on, my friend. We'll have you back on. You can talk about a lot of different things, man. So we're looking forward to having you back. And thank you, brother. Hope you have a good weekend.
Absolutely. You too, Coach. Thank you.